Morning sunlight warmed the cozy little house. Tomtom the cat stretched proudly on the windowsill, believing he ruled every corner. Meanwhile, Jero the mouse quietly gathered tiny cheese crumbs behind the cupboard. They had an unspoken peace: stay apart and avoid trouble. But today, Tomtom felt bored, and boredom always led to mischief. When he noticed Jero happily humming to himself, a playful spark lit in Tomtom's eyes. The chase instinct returned. Tomtom tried to sneak down silently, but his tail knocked a spoon to the floor. Clang! Jero froze. Their eyes locked. Then, like lightning, Jero dashed for a tiny tunnel in the wall. Tomtom lunged after him, sliding across the floor. The chase had begun. Fast, noisy, full of energy. Jero zipped into the kitchen, jumping on bowls and using a spoon as a slide. Tomtom followed, but his larger body knocked fruit everywhere and flipped utensils into the air. Despite the mess, Tomtom admired Jero's cleverness and speed. Jero laughed softly as he escaped again. Tomtom stopped, thinking carefully. Instead of chasing, he decided to set a trap. He placed a piece of cheese under a box tied to a string and waited behind a curtain. Jero peeked out, instantly recognizing the trap. Still, he approached slowly, pretending to be scared. At the last second, he tossed a pebble onto the cheese. The box snapped shut, empty. Tomtom stared confused. Jero waved playfully behind him. Tomtom let out a reluctant laugh. Their rivalry felt more like a game than anger. Suddenly, thunder boomed outside. Rain poured, winds howled, and the lights flickered out. The house fell into darkness. Jero shivered. Storms frightened him. Tomtom noticed and gently placed a soft cloth near him. The gesture changed something between them. Enemies did not comfort each other, but friends did. Working together, they found a candle. Tomtom accidentally knocked it over, but Jero quickly steadied it. Soon, warm light returned. Just when they relaxed, water began dripping from the ceiling. A pipe had burst, and the kitchen floor was filling fast. If they didn't stop it, their food would be ruined. Jero formed a plan. Tomtom would hold a bucket under the leak, while Jero climbed up to twist the valve shut. Tomtom nodded and steadied the bucket, while Jero climbed a yarn rope like a tiny mountaineer. After a tense moment, Jero managed to close the valve. The leaking stopped, and they both sat, tired but proud. They had solved a problem together, not as enemies, but as partners. Then came another challenge. Max, the neighbor's big dog, wandered inside looking for food. He saw Jero and growled. But before Jero could run, Tomtom stepped in front of him, standing tall and brave. Max lunged, expecting Tomtom to move aside. Instead, Tomtom swatted Max's nose. Shocked and startled, Max backed out of the house and left. Jero looked up at Tomtom with deep gratitude. The next morning, sunlight returned. Jero rolled a tiny paper ball toward Tomtom. Instead of chasing him, Tomtom batted it back gently. They played, not as hunter and prey, but as friends. Later, they explored the backyard together, jumped into piles of leaves, and laughed in their own ways. Jero with tiny squeaks, Tomtom with soft purrs. Their bond was real now. Strong, warm, and honest. That evening, they carved words into their shared treehouse wall. Tomtom and Jero, best friends forever. Their story no longer belonged to rivalry. It belonged to friendship.